This video is sponsored by PokeTownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards. Looking for that last card to complete your online deck, or just to get the latest booster packs in town like Crowns in It, for example. They literally have everything, and you can use the coupon code ZapDosTCG for 5% off your order. This video is also sponsored by CARDMARKET.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day, and you can use the referral name ZapDosTCG to help support the channel. This video is also sponsored by PLAYMAT.com. This is a platform where you're able to upload your favorite wallpaper and they turn it into a beautiful playmat. You can now have 10% off your order by clicking the link down below, and they ship worldwide, so definitely check it out. Last but certainly not least is going to be DragonShield.com. Dragon Shield is the best brand to protect your beautiful cards, and they have the best quality sleeves available, and you can of course check it out by clicking the links down below. They have sleeves, binders, and deck boxes of the best quality around. I use them in every single tournament, and you guys should do the exact same thing. Thank you a lot for sticking around with the commercials, and enjoy the video. Peace. Sup YouTube, it's ZapDosTCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Today we're going to be checking out the Triplet Beat set. This is going to be part of our second Scarlet and Violet set coming out in June. So these will not be in the base Scarlet and Violet set. Also, this set actually releases next Friday, the March 10th on and the Japanese world, so we're going to be seeing which cards we need to look out for. Little disclaimer, this is not the most impactful set ever, so don't expect the biggest of cards out there. So with that being said, if you enjoy videos like these, be sure to let me know by slapping the hell out of the like button. Let me know down below in the comment section how you feel about these new released cards and which one is your favorite. This is a cool looking artwork with the Lycanroc EX Midnight form. Its second attack actually slaps 140 damage, and if this Pokemon takes any damage from an attack during your opponent's next turn, put 10 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So it forces the opponent to escape rope or boss that turn, otherwise they can get slapped with 10 damage counters. So a pretty reasonable attack, just because of the fact with 140 damage you already one-hit KO an Arceus V-Star, and if somebody tries to attack you they get 10 damage counters, which is very, very crazy to think about. I wish it was like a little bit more, maybe 12 damage counters, something like a Cramorant attacking into you gets knocked out. That would have been like my preferred way to go with this attack, but it seems a little bit lackluster to say the least. People can play around it with playing escape rope, boss, etc. And also, now that I think about it, it is a stage 1 EX Pokemon, and with 2 attachments it actually becomes like you can have the fighting attachment and the double turbo energy, but that only becomes 120 damage, so I don't know if it's going to be having any sorts of impact. It is weak to grass. You don't see a lot of grass in the archetypes post rotation. We have a Hariyama, which takes 10 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon, so that's just mediocre. There's a Phalanx, 70 damage. If you have a Phalanx on your bench, you slap 90 more damage, so pretty much you're slapping 160. Could be a cute one-price archetype. The only problem I see here is that you always have to rely on double turbo energy, as twin energy has been rotated. Faulkner allows you to draw 2 cards. Love that stance here. The classic artwork of Faulkner, Johto Gym Leader #1. Draw 2 cards. If you have a stadium in play, draw 2 more. This is a very great draw supporter. Like, we've seen archetypes in the past that want to be drawing 4. We've seen it with like pure tag team decks that had that support that allows you to draw 4 if you're active as a tag team. So this probably will see play in decks that want to accumulate cards in the hand. So drawing 4 if a stadium is in play, it actually states if you have a stadium. So you have to be playing a lot of stadiums in order to make use of the Faulkner. There's Sableye, but it's not as broken as the other Sableyes we've gotten in the past. You might think that, but this one actually has first attack, putting the opponent to sleep, and the second attack, if your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, you slap 70 more damage, so 90 damage for 1 energy, but you need to have that special condition going around, maybe with a Mungus here and there. But it is very lackluster. The Sableye, of course, from Lost Origins is obviously way better, and the Lost Zone engines and stuff. We have a Float Soul, flip a coin of heads, put the opponent's active Pokemon and all cards attached to it into the opponent's hand. It is pretty similar to the Golduck that discards the opponent's active, but it's on a coin flip without Glimwood-Tangle. This is just 50-50 YOLO behavior. There's Hydreigon. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose any number of energy cards you find there and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like. Discard the other cards. So you have Universal Energy Acceleration. but it's on a stage 2, so I wonder if the format is slowing down. But with, of course, stuff like Sableye punishing evolution decks, with stuff like Mew V Max, which is just way faster in the format with Psychic Leap capabilities, I have no idea how to feel about a stage 2 being able to accelerate. Sometimes you don't even get the acceleration. Better acceleration is, of course, that Electrify item card from Scarlet and Violet. That is an item-based energy acceleration. It's always better. Okay. We've talked about Tinkaton. You may discard a card from hand, then draw 3. As we've seen before with Swampert, although Swampert did see a little bit of play with the Meganium from Lost Thunder. Cards like Samurott, more recently, those actually don't see a lot of play. The only way cards see play is like with the Gardevoir engine, because Gardevoir can, of course, Shadow Clone its way into play, as well as having Refinement, drawing cards on the stage 1. Although this is a stage 2, the stage 1 is very bad, so I don't think this will see play. The Dedenne, we've talked about this before, and I hate the fact that the terrestrial forms all come packed with bench barrier. Please, Pokemon, fix this, because this is getting kind of annoying. You move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to the opponent's active. Could be helping out in the Gardevoir EX deck, because you can move the damage counters all the way to your opponent's active and heal off all that damage, and you're on the bench sitting with a Pokemon with a lot of energies. The Paldean Clodsire EX, if there's a stadium in play, you may put the opponent's active Pokemon poison, which can combine a little bit with that Sableye we've seen before. Needle Bones 200, flip a coin if tails. This Pokemon can't attack, but with cards like Escape Rope in the format and Switch, you can easily reset the attack effect. Miss Maggie's, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, who may move an energy from your opponent's active to one of their bench, could see play in control decks. There's the Lesson Studio. Attacks from your stage 1 evolution Pokemon do 10 more damage. I mentioned this before, this is a very impactful stadium, so this is a very great card and will see play, because dealing an additional 10 damage before applying weakness and resistance is super huge and could help fix certain math, as we've seen before with Galarian Zigzagoon and specific decks. There's the Jet Energy, the new best friend of Comfey. If you attach it to one of your Pokemon, you immediately can fly all the way into the active position, so it's an additional switch out. So pretty much a Carl's Energy and a switch to the active, which is super cool for sure, and will help with more flower selectings. This Gyarados has a lot of HP, but is a little bit lackluster because it only slaps 180 if you have more prize cards remaining than the opponent, and it also requires a water and double Carlos energy, although double turbo energy is around. That already puts your damage output to 160, and your weak HP Magikarps will get sniped around by, of course, stuff like Sableye. There's the Lokix. If this Pokemon evolved from Nimble, you can slap 100 more damage, or 130 for 1 energy. We've seen attacks like this before with Lucario GX. They didn't see that much play, but against specific decks that are going to be popular, let's say there comes a very popular deck out there, maybe a new Darkrai EX that's going to be tier 1 busted, then maybe this card could see play as a counter card to hit for weakness. We've talked about these starting Pokemon before in the video, just as a little bit of a reminder. The Meowscarada actually allows you to discard a grass energy from hand. If you do, put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This stacks, so if you can get a lot of them out, you can snipe a lot, but is it doing the job better than Sableye? Probably not, because getting a stage 2 out just to do all that when Sableye does it better is probably not the way to go. Its attack also allows you to put 220 damage if the opponent has already damage on it, otherwise only 100. Skeledirge is going to be one of the better starting Pokemon with 340 HP, slapping 270 and 10 less for every damage counter on this Pokemon. So practically it could do 0 damage, but on the other hand, you could of course utilize it going, if you have your first turn attachment, then Rare Candy and attachment again. Low maintenance, 270 damage is never a bad thing. Maybe you could play this with some healing cards here and there, and the card becomes viable. This is probably one of the better damage outputs in the game for sure. The Quaquaval EX allows you to have hit and run with its first attack, 60, and you can switch to the bench. And then with the Corkscrew Shot, 230 damage, and put 2 energy from this Pokemon back into your hand. It's going to be pretty awkward because you cannot use Melanie on an EX card. So how do you get the energies back on when Frostmouth has also retreated? I have literally no idea, but I think Skeledirge is probably the one that's going to be seeing the most play, unless we see a broken stadium like the Giant Forest of Giant Plants reprint. I don't see any of these cards seeing play except for Lesson Studio, Jet Energy, Maybe the Dedenne GX is a one-off in the Gardevoir EX deck, and yeah, Falconer could see some play, but for all the rest of these cards, they are just lackluster and mediocre. There's an Oricorio allowing you to heal 20 damage from your active evolution Pokemon, and actually this stacks, so for every Oricorio out, you could do that. Could be combined with Skeledirge, I suppose, to actually still hit for a reasonable amount of damage, but with 90 HP, Radiant Greninja in the format, as well as Sableye, I don't see it working out too well. Paldean and Tauros is basically like Reshiram and Zekrom all the way from black and white with the Outrage, aka Raging Horns attack, 20 damage plus 10 more for every damage counter on this Pokemon. Very, very mediocre in a format where the Pokemon have tremendous amounts of HP. Although you do have different forms of the Paldean Tauros, almost everything will one-shot, so your Outrage attack becomes pretty useless. There's then Dara, the supporter, which is also available as a very fancy full art. Choose another card from your hand and put it on the bottom of the deck. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 cards in hand. So you can put a card you don't want to be seeing, maybe for the late game, on the bottom of the deck, and then draw cards until you have 5 in hand. So pretty interesting if you can clean up your hand, having a card for the late game that you don't want to discard, put it on the bottom, draw 5. Reasonable draw supporter for sure, definitely considering that Marnie will rotate on the 14th of April, we won't no longer be able to use the Marnie. Okay, Clavel is going to be a supporter. Search your deck for 3 basic Pokemon with 120 HP or less, reveal them and put them into your hand. So pretty much similar to Professor Elm's lecture in that sense. You can get basics out and put them in hand, I suppose. Luminous Energy is a pretty bad special energy because if this Pokemon has already another special energy attached, this card just becomes a Card's energy instead, so you cannot stack Luminous Energy, so they're actually bullying Regigigas as well as Lugia player, or maybe balance them, whatever you might think, but this is going to be maybe an energy for control decks that want to have that one attachment, that Pokemon that only require one energy that could use Luminous Energy, or maybe it's some counter box deck that maybe has Melanie Luminous Energy, then maybe I can see this working out. So a 3 out of 5. The Superior Energy Retrieval is pretty cool. Discard 2 cards from hand, and then you can put 4 basic energies from your discard pile back into your hand. It's gonna help out with those energy drop decks, so it's gonna be pretty cool. And then there's the Artisan Stadium card. Once during each player turn, they may search the deck for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it on the bench. So Universal Pokemon Search on a Stadium card. This will 100% see play. One of the stronger stadiums out there, very similar to Brooklet Hill, or maybe even a recent Thunder Mountain, or what is it, or whatever it was, that allows you to get like Lightning or Dragon Pokemon from the deck. I don't even know what the name is, but there are stadiums and they always see play because searching out Pokemon is what gets you in the game, definitely with a first turn supporter rule. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, these are all the cards around. So are there any other cards that we need to talk about? I don't think so, because those are the most interesting ones. We do see some beautiful artworks here and there, but on the other hand, they probably won't have that much of an impact because they are a little bit lackluster. Let's hope the second part of our Scarlet and Violet second set will have more competitive cards than this. Let me know your favorite down below. For me personally, it's gonna be that Stadium card that allows you to slap 10 more damage with your evolution Pokemon, because I love hitting for weakness in formats, definitely because I'm metagaming a lot. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you probably on Wednesday, seeing as I have a whole lot of tasks up on the menu, so hopefully you guys won't mind, but I'll be back before you know it. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Peace.